Hello, my name is Juan Carlos Laviger, and I'm currently going to present a project for the course of Coursera that we're doing right now. So, managing machine learning projects through Duke University, provided by Coursera. I'm on Module 5, and this is the last project so that I can complete the course. Basically, my goal for this project is to find a problem that are in the industry, that I'm in, and explain why that's a good problem to solve through machine learning based solutions. Using the 3 criteria of Module 1, CRISP, DM, business understanding. Did I properly document the problem, clearly define what success looks like in terms of outcome and output metrics, and identify relevant factors. Validation plan. Did I explain a plan for validating the solution concept with potential users? Machine learning system design. Did you describe the key system level architecture? Decisions made. Potential risk in production. Did I describe the possible drift concerns or other potential issues model might encounter in production? So the problem that I'm looking at is actually the predicting pricing breaches in retailer compliance using AI. So this is for Australia. It's called the ACCC. I work in a very, very compliance-based environment. And so the idea of doing a machine learning project for compliance was quite fascinating to me. I've actually tried to do the project itself. So this is a condensed version of everything that I've learned. So basically the introduction, AI-powered price compliance monitoring, the objective, detect and predict retailer pricing breaches, and why it matters. Retailers violating consumer laws, risk fines. Monitoring things currently is manual and inefficient, and this would enable a real-time scalable compliance monitoring. Now this solution could be both for the retailer and for the compliance government entity. Opportunity evaluation, problem statement. Retailers may lower prices before 30 days, which is the cap. You need to have a price at 30 days or less when you at full price. Otherwise, you're violating compliance if it's less than 30 days, not more. So high price, so full retail price has to be set at 30 days at least before you lower it. If you lower it before, then it could be considered a breach. Currently, manual monitoring is slow and lacks accuracy. Price manipulation affects competition and consumer trust. And you can also affect the retailer who gets major fines of $1 million per instance. And the ACCC can retroactively go back and check all the times this occurred. Why machine learning? So pattern detection, AI detects price changes automatically, 24/7 tracking across multiple retailers, although most retailers have a schedule, but this would allow tracking for international retailers. Predictive capabilities, AI forecast potential violations before they occur. CRISP-DM business understanding, objective, monitor retailer pricing prediction potential through the consumer law violations. Success metric, so we'd want to have 95% accuracy in price detection, 80% reduction in manual compliance efforts, real-time alerts for pricing and pricing strange behaviors. Relevant factor, historical pricing trends, minimum 30-day pricing stability rule before discount, ACCC regulatory policies. So this is very specific to one country. And historical pricing trends. I guess another really relevant fact would be current pricing and current discounts. That would be really important to review. Validation plan. How do we validate the machine learning model? Iterative testing approach. The first one, yes, we're in machine learning, but I would also say that having some sort of prototype. What I was doing is I try to create a prototype, a test phase of it, and that allowed me to learn a lot about everything before even looking at AI. So even just doing the manual approach, doing maybe a more automated approach through Python and whatnot would be a good starting point to understand like the data organization, have conversations with the data engineers on regarding like the scope of this, the maybe the key people that you'll need to speak to. But this is a very high level overview, so I'll continue. So phase one, AI versus human auditors. Phase two, AI monitor large scale retail data. Phase three, industry validation. Compare AI predicted breaches versus manually detected ones, A/B testing. Evaluate precision recall and false positive rates. That's very important. We see a lot of false positive in the testing I did. User feedback integration. Retail and compliance officers validated AI predictions. Yes, you need to show the data to maybe like a confidential group of people who understand this information. It doesn't have to be retailers, but if you're launching this for a specific retailer, you'd have an inside scoop. I would say this data should also be very confidential and very well protected, so that even within an organization, it's only a few people that would review this information if it was for a retailer specific solution. Because the data is very competitive understanding. So it's understanding your competitors. So you want to keep that information confidential. User feedback integration. Retail and compliance officers validate AI predictions. Continuous feedback look. Rinse and repeat. Review if the data is like to the standards of the CEO, CTO, CFO. If they believe the data is relevant to them, because this is really highly, this is at the executive level that this would be important. And if the information, the feedback is negative, then go back and review where it can be improved. The machine learning system design and justification, key system decisions, supervised learning approach, regression, because we're looking at continuous numeric data. So we want to make sure for predictive data that we're able to use regression, and we're also detecting odd behaviors. So that's also part of it. So we have condition, we have criteria. If the criteria is not, if the information we're receiving is within that criteria, we want to see it. We also want to see anything that's a derivative. Maybe there is some retailers that for some reason are making really high returns, but for some reason we notice that they're not ever changing their pricing. So we'd want to investigate that. Feature engineering, historical pricing patterns, time since last price change, competitive price trends, and also current pricing. So pricing dates the length of time that the price is at a specific value, the original full price, the discount price that is currently there, and the specific product that it relates to. System architecture, web scraper collects live retail price, AI model predicts potential pricing breaches, compliance dashboard generates real-time alerts. Real worst and edge cases. So the challenges are very, very, very data related, because there's a high likelihood that this is all new data. There's new products all the time. So essentially you need to train AI to understand how to detect pricing patterns, how they evolve, how websites work. So continuous retraining with real-time price data, constantly checking, constantly verifying against real data. It's big data, it's precise data, and it has really huge impact. So I think the training phase, the data drift is a real challenge. It's a real risk. Training serving skew. Issue training data may not reflect real world pricing. Exactly right. The data it grabs from websites may not reflect what you have. So you want to make sure that you constantly have good, valid training data. Real-time model adjustments, data validation. At the beginning of the project, you definitely want to do this over and over again. And just be careful, any other features you add may really impact the data. So you want to track all of the different iterations of the model that you created to be able to go back to a model that may have worked, to the current model that you're using that for some reason doesn't work anymore. False positives may occur. They might flag promotions as breaches, but for promotions that are legitimate, they might also not flag any breaches for a particular retailer for particular product for a very, very long time. So you want to make sure that even things that are not wrong, but that are suspicious have to be verified. Could be like that the scraping isn't happening. It could be that there was a missed retailer. It could be that it's a brand new retailer. A lot of reasons why that wouldn't work. Scalability issues, big data, cloud-based infrastructure would be the solution for that. Now, if it's a individual retailer, I'd say that this is a really good case for it, and maybe perhaps starting with a cloud-based infrastructure. So you could create a big project that allows you, if you're a big retailer, like for example, Amazon, that allows you to manage your data. Fairness and transparency. Ensure AI does not disproportionately flag small businesses. Provide explainable decisions to retail. Now, this is if you are the government. If you're the retailer itself and you're looking to verify like your own price changes, but also you want to keep an eye on the competition because you want to play in a fair playing field. You definitely want to know your retailers, you know, your competition, and this might work better for that kind of situation because you'd have a lot less. You'd be able to dedicate some people to providing better data, better accuracy, and the data might be smaller. But you want to be, you want to make sure that you abide by the terms and conditions of retailer and their website. You want to make sure that this is confidential before you have really strong assurance that the data is valid. And I would say that any potential breaches should be only handled and reviewed by those that have permission. So therefore the data needs to be stored and managed in a way that is away from the regular employee. If you're in the government, again, it's very important to keep this confidential, not from regular employees so much, but from any potential public information been brought out before the data is validated. So basically, don't believe the data. Trust but verify. So the expected outcomes and next steps. So if this was for like the government, with 90% accuracy in detecting price breaches, automated compliance alerts, they would be able to all of a sudden, after this is working, be able to send out notifications to a lot of retailers and to tell them to get in line, and that there is a stronger compliance verification. They have better accuracy, so retailers just need to be aware of this. Perhaps providing a upfront communication might just letting them know, putting this in the news and giving them maybe like 30 days notice would immediately see that the environment changes. Now, the other thing to be careful about is that, because if you do that, the environment will change. You'd have to double check you'd have to review your model before you deploy it in real time. Or if you do deploy it in real time, perhaps do it super anonymously so that the first data you receive and so on is actually accurate because you've actually changed the environment. Next steps: deploy AI system with live retailer data, prove accuracy using deep learning for dynamic pricing, integrate real-time Tableau dashboard for compliance teams so that they can visualize the breaches, the data, the potential upcoming breaches. They could track, record what's happened historically, just make their life a lot easier. Conclusion, Q&A. AI transforms compliance monitoring from manual effort to proactive detection. Scalability and automation. Retailers and regulatories get real-time alerts. These would be next-gen compliance tool. AI ensures fair pricing and regulatory adherence. So that's it for me. I do really appreciate you taking the time. Have a good one. Hope I've answered all the questions.